Good morning. It is just now turning light outside. It looks to me like sun won't rise for another half an hour, but maybe it will, who knows. This is an unusual topic for me and a bit embarrassing, but it must be dealt with. My career, if I had one, was as a public speaker. And I traveled the country for 25 years, speaking to audiences large and small, but mostly 300 or 400 people at a time. And I was proud of my speaking voice. It developed over time, and I was just proud of the way that I could communicate with the audience, but in particular, how my voice actually sounded. And on YouTube, since I've been doing YouTube videos now for 4.5 years, people would frequently say, "Oh, I just love the sound of your voice." Well, lately, I have noticed a change. And, of course, we assume that's because I'm getting older. And in the jokes of old people, they always make them sound awful. But my intention is not to sound awful just because I'm getting older. I can still exercise and perform in other ways. And I intend to be able to speak as well. And to sing, since singing has become a big part of my life the last 2 or 3 years. It's important to me that I can sing. What I noticed in the past several weeks anyway was that I could hardly even talk, much less sing, without coughing. And I would, well, it's kind of awkward to say, but I would be coughing up phlegm. And I would cough, and I would cough, and I would hack and cough. And I guess I sounded like a smoker's cough, hacking and coughing, and it got to be really annoying. So, one day, I decided to check into the causes of phlegm. And what I found was not at all what I was expecting. I found that one of the chief causes of phlegm is caffeine, of all things. And I have relied on caffeine. I have certainly relied on caffeine. And in fact, well, I don't overdo caffeine. I don't drink 8 cups of coffee before breakfast. In fact, 2 cups of coffee would probably be the maximum amount of coffee that I take in a day. I usually, well, some days I would drink just coffee. Some days I would take a little caffeine pill, and I would take very small parts of one pill. I did not ever take a whole pill at one time, but I would take tiny little parts of that pill. And usually it would kind of melt in my mouth and go down into my stomach, and 5 minutes later I would be clear as a bell in my mind. But not apparently in my throat. Think of our esophagus and all the passageways that go into our... I'm not familiar with the internal workings of the body. I know we have lungs and esophagus, and I know we have pipes, and I know that your voice comes out either clear or not. Ah, ah, ah. You got to hit all those notes. So, I determined two culprits to fight: caffeine and milk. They said that milk also caused phlegm. So I said, I can live without milk and caffeine. Of course, anybody can give up milk. Caffeine is a different story. Aren't we all addicted? Will we have a headache? What will life be like without caffeine? I've been without caffeine now for 4 or 5 days, I suppose. I haven't had a headache, though close to it, I would say. I've generally felt kind of like my IQ has slipped a little. But I found that my work productivity has not slipped any. I have been much more peaceful with life. I have only lost my temper one time in 4 or 5 days, which is a big improvement. And that was justified because I made a video and then I lost it by unplugging my camera before I turned it off. Now that was a bummer. I didn't even know that could happen. So each day, by increments, I found that my alertness was improving. I found ways that I could generate some blood flowing into my brain, which is really, I suppose, what caffeine does. If you get up and exercise a little bit. Or also, I had some peppermint. I have peppermint essential oil in a little container. I put a drop in my hand and I smell that, and that seems to help. But what about my voice? Brain is doing fine. I am doing better than before without caffeine in only these few days. By the way, I've known I could give up caffeine at any time. I have done this over the past for different reasons. So I knew I could do it, and I knew it wouldn't take long to get over any kind of addiction or withdrawal from that substance. Everybody's been saying how beneficial caffeine is. Well, I'm not so sure. And the one thing I do know, it's not beneficial for my voice. And my voice has been improving. And what I found also was that not only did my voice improve, but I don't like the thought of junk in my esophagus and in my lungs. I don't like that at all. And that is a health benefit that I think even overrides the improvement of the voice. In the last years of my mother's life, she was basically overcome with congestion in her lungs. And I don't want that. I've seen it, and I don't want it, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to have it. But this was all about singing. Singing is very important to me, and the use of my voice is very important. If you have a problem with phlegm or your voice, you might want to look into caffeine consumption or other things that you might be doing that might interfere with your voice. It's one of the very precious things we have And if we can keep our voice clear and clean and nice and sweet, then we will also be helping our body tremendously, I think. Thanks for watching. I have found that in the few days that I've been doing this, that my voice is definitely improving every day, and I'm very hopeful and very excited about this. Gone with the wind, gone with the tide, gone's the love of my life. Gone with the wind, gone with the tide, gone's the love of my life. She left this morning, early this morning. She left this morning to the sea. Out in the ocean, out in the sea, tossed by the wind and the waves. Out in the ocean, out in the sea, tossed by the wind and the waves. Gone with the wind, gone with the tide, gone's the love of my life. Gone with the wind, gone with the tide, gone's the love of my life. She left this morning, early this morning. She left this morning to the sea. Come sit with me, come smile with me, come walk with me, come talk with me, come sit with me, come smile with me, come walk with me, come talk with me, come dance with me, romance with me, come sit with me. Go to sleep, my little one. Day is done, night has finally come. Many things you did today, let them go and rest your weary head. Moon and stars, rain and cold are outside, but inside we're warm and safe. Go to sleep, my little one. Day is done and night has finally